they want to take something back home. The moms want it, the kids want it. So the arts and crafts is a little bit of activity, and the arts and crafts is where we develop motor skills. So we do things like threading, things like finger painting, sorting, sticking. They love to stick anything to anything. So that's our 4 quarters: singing, story, activity, arts and crafts. Arts and crafts I'm not going to go into. As Bhavya teachers, you'll already know a fair bit of it. And Google's in the mouth. You can figure out any arts and crafts on Google. And the lesson plans, which of course will be available through Swamiji, has already written what arts and crafts with the picture of what you need to do, where you need to go, what you need. And it's usually very low budget because you have to do something every week. So the activity is more important. Arts and crafts you all can manage. The singing I've spoken about, the activity. Going too fast? No. The activity now is something where what we do is we get them up and we get to reinforce the devata that we are doing for that month. So basically what we want to do is get them to know the picture with the name. Do you have those cards? So we have created flashcards, which I'm very sorry I didn't bring. So we have the picture, and on the back of the picture is the name, like flashcards were. And so it's Shiva, Rama, Hanuman, Devi, Ganesha, Krishna, Vishnu. Is that 8? Did I say 8? Hanuman. Hanuman. Okay, so not separate. All the Devis are not done separately. It's just Devi. There's one picture of Devi. And when we do Devi for 4 weeks, then we do Durga Lakshmi Saraswati. And those are separate pictures. But in the main flashcards, it's Devi. So let's do it systematically. It's Ganesh, then Shiva, Devi, Vishnu, Rama, Hanuman, Krishna, Ganesh. No. So where am I missing? I should have brought the cards. No, not the room. Guru. Guru, Guru, Guru. 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 Krishna? Guru.
After Ganesha, Devi, then comes
Guru, Guru, yes. So we have the flashcards for that. And so that's also the activity. So we hold up a card, so we have each set. So 1 set per kid. The mom is doing it with the kid. The mom holds up the card, reads out the name, puts it down. Holds up the card, reads out the name, puts it down. And for Krishna, we have a different set. I'm so sorry I didn't bring it. I brought it to Bombay also. And we've got, I think there's 6 different Krishnas. We've got Markanchor Krishna, Bansi Bajaya Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Govardhan Krishna, Kalya Mardana Krishna, Ras Leela Krishna, Bala Krishna. I don't think I have Bala Krishna. Yeah, it's called in Markanchor Krishna. Or Yashoda Nanda Krishna with Yashoda Maya holding. So there's a few. So there's a set of 6 or 7 of different Krishna pictures, and the name is written at the back. So the activity can be very often the flashcards, or the activity is related to the story, or the activity is related to something they would enjoy doing. So I'm going to get about 4 or 5 of you to come and do the activity with me to show you how I would do in this lesson plan what we did. Volunteers. You can't see us, right? So you need to bring your balloons. Can I borrow someone's balloon? Okay, so the moms will help them to do it, especially the infants where it's smaller and they may not have the motor skill. And of course they love the balloons, so you cannot take it away from them. So here the activity is to help them to learn to share and to give, but not to have them feel like they've given it. So what we do is, I give you and I have to say, Ram. Then I have to come to you and say, Ram. So you have to say Ram when you're giving it to me, and I have to say Ram when I'm giving it. So now you left without a balloon, so automatically she has to give you Ram. So this will work simultaneously, right? So then the circle has to keep going. So you're doing it at the same time you're talking. Ram. But then you have two, you see, so you're not touch cheating.
I'm not supposed to have.
Right. So it gets a little tricky, and so the moms are helping. And so some are going to be slower and some are going to be faster, but the idea is that you keep saying Ram, and the mom has to reinforce. And when you're getting it, you're saying Ram, and when you're giving it, you're saying Ram. So but then you have to give it.
She's upset with it.
Yes, so it has to work as a circle.
You also supposed to have.
Never mind. We can leave one out so that it goes.
Ram.
Now, this is so easy as adults. As kids, it won't be, because they want this balloon.
They won't give it out.
Well, that's the whole thing. So we're teaching them Ram, but subconsciously I'm also teaching, you can give it, you're going to get. So there's a lot of subconscious teaching that goes along as well. But I'm not going to say that to the kid. I'm not even saying it to the mom. I don't have to say it. I just have to play this game. And so moms will have a word with their word, the mom will say, share, you can share. I'm like, okay, but see now she's going to give you quickly, you give her. But at the same time, I have to keep saying, Ram. You'll get the idea. Yes? Okay, good. Okay. So this doesn't last for too long. It would last maybe 5 minutes. It would last. Then we keep the balloons, because once you've blown these balloons, now this, for today's class, I don't mean in arts and crafts as much, because they're going to take the balloon. Be sure they're going to take the balloon. So then what we do is, and they don't have the same motor skill as us, which is where we're helping them learn even the motor skill. So like what I said earlier, Shishuvihar, of course we're teaching them the culture, but at such a formative age, they're actually developing their own brain. So it would be injustice to just focus on the culture. It has to be to help us to develop their own brain. So what we do is that they have to throw it up into the air, catch, run. Throw it up into the air, catch, run. They can't catch. They're learning how to catch. So this is why the mums need to be there. The mums will be helping them catch. So it's going to fall on the floor, which is fine. When they pick it up, they have to say, run. Yeah? And then we do between mum and me. So that would be another 5 minutes. Just throw, run. And that's why it's written here also, to remind. Every time you touch the balloon, you say round. So, round. Now this, of course, for us it's super easy. For them it's not easy. It takes them a while to even get their balance of looking up while the balloon is up. So it's beautiful for them because you've got this whole room of moms and kids, and the moms are saying round, I'm hoping that they won't catch it. So the whole room is saying round, so they're hearing it, and at the same time they're engaged in an activity. Okay, so the first one is the circle. So you go clockwise, you go anti-clockwise, then they get up and they turn it. And then the third one will be I throw it to mom, round, throw it back to me, round. And I'm this close because they can't do further. So even if they're sitting right in front of mom. And this is a lovely way because even the rappel, see, moms and kids don't do that much productive. It will be the TV, it will be eating, it will be this. So this is such a nice way to engage with mom, playing and playing. And then of course they want to go home and then you can play it with dad, you can play it with your brother, you can play it with, and they're still doing, in a way, they're doing each other. So we're going to keep going. Round,
Round.
round,
Round.
round, and so on. And so on. And so on. Right? And so that would be all with this. Just, and so this is japa. Right? So I'm not going to give them a japa mala and tell them to do round, round, round. They won't be able to, and in fact, even the moms won't be able to. Moms are so consumed with taking care of the kid that there's no energy to sit and do formal sound. So the mom's doing japa. So if in the class we manage to get 15 minutes because these 3-5 activities, for 15 minutes not only are they saying round, 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 they're hearing the whole room, every other mom and kid also saying round, round, round. And because round is small, the toddlers can say, the infants of course know, and blur is the hardest one they can do. But they say blur is the last syllable that they're able to say. One of the last. So the balloon helps because they love balloons. So already happy. And the minute they're happy, goes in. Right? And it makes everyone there, it's easier for them. So then the next week when the balloons are not there, then we still do japa. But now not with the balloon anymore. So we'll do that, they all stand in a line, and then everyone has to jump. And when you jump, you say, and then you have to jump again, and you have to say, and then you have to jump on one leg, which can be hard for them. And you say, and you jump again, and you say, and so you create this whole, where you're just telling them to move. Doing different actions, but every time you do the action, it's right. So they can't do much, but we have to also keep the actions very simple. So you have to clap, right, clap, no. And if you do, you've lost them. You have to do things. You have to do one, and you have to do it again, and again, and again. But even though it's so simple, what we're doing is so simple, the class is so much fun. And as a teacher, I've not gotten bored by doing something so simple because the look on their faces, and and they're actually trying to say it. They're actually trying to say round. So then that becomes really, really, really nice. Okay, so we've got our activity. Like I said, arts and crafts I'm not going to talk about. Okay, story. I'm going to talk about story. Don't worry, I didn't forget. Before I continue, any questions? No? Okay. So the stories in Shishuvihar, when I myself started, I was just doing extremely brief versions of our Puranic stories. Then switch that up and you can go to what else do I have? I go to Ganesha. So they can't read it, so it's okay. But we'll come to that later.
What questions?
Yes.
For the balloon game, only have three rounds, or can it be equal pertaining to the other
No, no, it can be any. It can be any. Hanuman, Ram, Krishna, Shiva.
Difficult for them to say.
Even Ram is difficult for them to say because the toddlers know, the infants.
But we can say Ganesha.
Ganesha is easy actually. They say that quicker. They say Ganesha, Krishna. Krishna is also hard because it's a conjunct consonant. But they're able to say something. Something they say and you know that that's their equivalent to. The first nursery rhyme we did was to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Om Gan Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gan Ganapataye Namaha, Sanna Shiv and Parvati, with a long nose and a big belly. Out of clay and mud he became, Lord Ganesha is his name. Om Gan Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gan Ganapataye Namaha. They sing the whole thing without pronouncing one word correct. It's adorable. But they can sing the whole thing. And like I told you earlier, they'll tell their moms, no, it means you have to sing this rhyme, the whole song. So, because that's the action that comes the easiest, like the sun up doesn't come as easily, but when you say long nose, that's how, some actions they like more than other actions. Okay. So when you're doing story with Shishuvihar, there's more don'ts than there is do's. And I usually avoid talking in don'ts. So let's see how I do this. Because they're so young, they get scared very easily. So your bad guy can't be so bad. Because they get scared. And it leaves that, and that's not the impression we want to leave on them. Because if they get scared, then they're not seeing that Ram killed Ravana, they're just seeing Ravana was so horrible. And then their take-home message is gone. And in fact, working on this has really forced me to look at our scriptures with new perspective. Because it's so easy to make Ravana, his 10 hairs, and he's angry and tom. Even if you see the Ganesha Masterpiece book, Kajamakasura looking really, they get scared. They're too small. They get scared. So, there usually no bad guy in the story. If there's a bad guy in the story, somebody got angry. Or he was having a bad day. But he's not bad. Even I would even avoid using words like mean, cruel. Kids are already very impressionable. This age, just that much more impressionable. So it's been fun because our stories have so many bad guys. And the whole idea, or what I see as Gurudev's vision in Bhavihar is devotion. We want the kids to love Krishna, love Ram. More than be good, do good, we want to love the Lord so that He's there for me. I want to be like Him. I want to live this life that He would be proud of me to live. So the stories are short and also somewhat changed. Now, like I said in the beginning, in Shishuvihar, material still being created. I'm constantly rethinking and creating material. So I've given you a story now. So this is something we did in Navratri this year for Shishuvihar. So if you try to think of a Devi Mata story, it's already hard. There's actually not that many stories of Devi Mata. Then if you try to think of a Devi Mata story which doesn't have violence, extremely hard. And so how to introduce to them the concept of Ma, of Devi. So we myself and some of the teachers that are helping me work on the material, so we came up with this. So Devi Mata made the sun. Put the story in front of you. My mama wakes me up. So now there's a link, that love that I'm feeling from my mom, I'm trying to connect it to Devi Mata. Devi Mata made the earth, my mama takes me to the garden. Devi Mata makes water, my mama gives me a bath. In this age, mama is still giving me a bath. Devi Mata is knowledge, Saraswati ji being knowledge. My mama teaches me. Devi Mata made the treats, the fruits, the vegetables. My mama feeds me. So now remember, action is very important. So if I go back, Devi Mata made the sun, my mama wakes me up. What action? Come on. Yeah, so easy, right? Either you do the sun in the sky and it's shining, or you do, my mama wakes me up. Devi Mata made the earth, my mama takes me to the garden to play. What action? Earth. You can do the action of earth or? If you are inhibited, the class will not work. You cannot be inhibited in this class. Actually, you cannot be inhibited in any class. Even Bhavihar class, if you are inhibited, you're robbing the kids of a teacher. So now I want to see actions from everyone. My mama takes me to the park. Play. Okay. Devi Mata made water, my mama gives me a bath. That's India. In the West, we didn't do that, but you all did that. In the West, my mama gives me a bath. You know, you all did this. You say what? No, it was not a criticism. It was just an observation. Devi Mata is knowledge. My mama teaches me books. You have a book. Devi Mata made people. My mama carried me in her tummy. Yes. Devi Mata made animals. My mama takes me to the zoo. Is it a page 2? Yeah. Devi Mata is well, referring to Lakshmi Ji. My mama buys me my favorite things. Devi Mata made the moon. My mama puts me to bed to rest. Devi Mata works hard to keep the earth clean. My mama works hard to keep our home clean. Devi Mata looks after everything. My mama looks after me. Devi Mata is strength. My mama makes me strong. Devi Mata loves the sun, the earth, the water. My mama loves me. Devi Mata loves everyone. No, sorry. Devi Mata is everyone's mama. So I love Devi Mata. I love Devi Mata. So in Shishuvihar, and actually even in Mahavihar, slowly we are trying to introduce maybe not the Puranic story as it is. Of course, we would never take that away. The Puranic stories are a great source of wealth and knowledge and devotion in themselves. But sometimes to present it to the kids in a slightly different way so that they can imbibe, especially in the formative years, the essence of what the deity is. And then later on when they hear the stories, they already have understood the essence of the stories. So, like this we've created, like so, when we do Ganesha, even though some teachers, when they're very good, would be able to tell the story of Ganesha's head being chopped off, some teachers can, and the kids won't get upset. But if the teacher is not confident, then the kid's traumatized because the father's cut off the Ganesha's head. Right? It was different when we heard it from our nannies. Our nannies had so much devotion that what we heard was her devotion, not Shiva cut off Ganesha's head. We didn't hear that. We never heard it. But today, with the mums being more self-conscious and themselves wondering why such a thing happened, if we say it, they'll hear that. So, in the syllabus, the story is not there because I don't know which teacher is going to be teaching the lesson. But it's not that you can't teach it to them. If the teacher is confident and good and has devotion, and comes from a point of devotion, that's what the kids will learn. And so that's very important in terms of when you're teaching, whether it be Mahavihar or Shishuvihar. The kids hear your conviction. More than your words, the kids hear your conviction. So the stories are very short, and even if I do take up a story from the Ramayana, so in the Ramayana, what I've done is I talk about Ram being born in one class, I talk about Sita being born in another class, and that's the story. That's short. This is as long as your story is going to get. It can't go more than that. You're not going to listen. And in the third class, Ram and Sita get married, and everyone's very happy. That's it, that's your Ramayana. It's enough for a 2-year-old. Of course at home, if the mom is telling them more, that's great. And then in the last class, they go to the forest and they make all these friends. With the deers and the monkeys and the squirrels and the rabbits and the cows and so Ram is everyone's friend. So the stories are short. We never change a story. The Puranic stories are own with the rishis, intelligence, and so I would never change a story. Definitely we summarize it because of their attention capacity and their ability to understand. Or I would create a story about, like here, me and my relationship with Devi.